guys, and welcome back to our program. Here is the segment on our homeowners insurance policy, and today I have with me Kristi Moore with Carolina Property Insurance, and I appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so here we're talking about when to get your homeowners insurance, and you have to have it in order for the lender to give you the mortgage. And so let's talk about what's the time frame that a buyer needs to be starting to think about their homeowners insurance policy.
At least 30 days.
Okay, so we want to do that after we get an accepted offer. There's no sense in doing it before you know that your offer is accepted. And then that policy is good for 30 days.
It is, correct.
Okay, so typically in a 30-day window of a closing, your home inspection will be done and you'll have that report back in roughly 15 days. So if we start then your policy, if it's good for 30 days or your quote's good for 30 days, that'll carry you to an extension just past your closing time. So you're covered there, so you don't have to do anything else with it. So that's pretty cool. So what do you need from a buyer in order to do a policy?
Just a copy of the home inspection report if they get one done.
Okay, that'd be nice, which your agent should have.
Exactly.
And any other information that on that report you're looking for?
So with insurance, there's what we call risks of the home, and the major risks are going to be the hot water heater, the HVAC, and the roof. So as long as we know the ages, if they've been replaced 15 years ago, 10 years ago, as long as we know those ages, not the exact date, just the approximate year, we can get you, an accurate.
So that affects the price of the premium. So you can get most of that information from the homeowners inspection, the home inspection. So how do you tie in with the lender? I know that you guys work together a good bit. So is that just sharing the information? Do you need anything from the lender?
I do need the mortgage clause from the lender along with their loan number. And typically we try to be as accurate as possible with replacement costs to make sure that the client is accurately insured.
Okay. Now, let's say that we've got the quote, we know what we're wanting to do, we know what we've got to spend, the lender has all the information. When does that policy take place?
The policy goes into effect at the closing date. When you sign those papers, the closing date is when you want to have your policy into effect.
So that's good to know, because if something happens to the home the day before closing, that would be the seller's end, not the buyer's end. So the seller needs to make sure that they keep that policy in place until at least the day after closing or so, so there's no lapse there. Absolutely. So that's good to know. Let's talk a little bit, because a lot of our viewers probably are renters. So let's talk a little bit about renter's insurance, because that can hopefully transfer into the new home and just update your policy as a buyer. Yeah. So what does a renter's insurance policy cover, and about what does that cost?
Well, a renter's insurance policy can be anywhere from $50 to $100. It really just depends on what the client needs. Some people have $200,000 in personal property, some people have 25. So it really just makes the agent need to be as accurate as possible and listening to the client and figuring out what they exactly need. If they have an animal, they may need animal liability. If they're in a flood zone, they may be a good idea to get some flood insurance.
Okay, well that's cool. So a renter can even have flood insurance.
Absolutely.
I didn't know that. That's impressive. So we have our policy in place, and you know what the premium is going to be. That's tied in with your mortgage. A lot of times a mortgage lender will include your insurance and your taxes into your mortgage payment. So that's why you contemplate, or you have to get that in place as well.
And you definitely want to tell your insurance agent whether or not they are escrowing. So we do communicate with the lender as well, because that's put on your policy.
Right. Well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
And then also, I'm sure you love to do the bundling of insurance, so you can work with auto insurance as well.
We do. Mm-hmm.
You work with the homeowners insurance. What other kinds of insurance do you work with?
Golf carts. We are in the South. Everybody
here
loves a golf cart.
Yeah.
So what we typically do, what I like to do is actually put it with an auto carrier. You have more coverage with an auto carrier than you would adding it into your homeowner's insurance policy. Typically, if we add it into the homeowner's insurance policy, you can't leave your neighborhood.
Wow, that's interesting. You learn something new every day. All right, well, anything else, Kristi, that we need to know about?
Yeah.
I think that's great. Thank you guys, and I hope to see you in the next segment. And if you have any questions about your insurance, give Kristi a call, or you can give me a call, and I'll make sure we put you in touch with each other. Thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next segment.